Hello and welcome to the complete Java programming course. In this course, you will be learning the Java programming language from the ground up until you master the Java programming language. Java is a popular programming language owned by the Oracle Foundation. Java is an object-oriented programming language that runs on billions of devices, including notebook computers, mobile devices, and many others. The rules and syntax of Java are based on the C and C++ languages. Java is designed to be portable. And what is the mean of the portability of the Java programming language? Is that when we are writing a Java code once, this code can run everywhere. So, writing once and fire everywhere. The same code can run on any device. The same Java code can run on any device, even if it's a Mac OS device or a Windows device or a mobile phone device. Java runs on 3 billion mobile devices and has over 9 million Java developers worldwide. There is a difference between Java and JavaScript. JavaScript does not need to be compiled, while Java code does need to be compiled. Also, JavaScript only runs on web browsers, while Java can run anywhere. So, the Java programming language can be run anywhere. In order to develop Java programs, you will need a development tool, and this tool is called the JDK, Java Development Kit. The JDK is composed of the JRE and the development tools. The JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment, which is responsible for providing the environment for running our Java programs, while the development tools are tools that we use to develop Java programs, which are the compilers, debuggers, and Java documentations and other tools. As we said, the JDK is composed of the JRE plus compilers and debuggers and Java documentation, and it's used to develop Java programs. The JRE is the Java Runtime Environment, and it's used to run Java programs, and it's composed of the JVM and class libraries. What is the JVM? The JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. It provides a runtime environment for our Java program. It's also known as a virtual machine, and it does not exist physically. The JVM becomes an instance of the JRE at runtime. And what is the mean of that? When we are running a Java program, the JRE creates an instance of the JVM in order to provide a runtime environment for this Java program. So, if the JRE runs 3 Java programs, then it will create 3 JVM instances in order to provide a runtime environment for all the 3 Java programs. What is a JIT? JIT is just-in-time compiler, and it's different from the JVM. It's part of the JVM. The JVM has an interpreter and a just-in-time compiler. The interpreter converts the bytecode at once into a machine language, the whole bytecode at once into a machine language, while the just-in-time compiler only converts the reusable bytecode into a machine language. The JIT is used to improve the performance of the JVM that runs our program. So, how the Java program is work? In order to understand the working of the Java program, you first need to understand what is the Java source code, bytecode, and a machine language code. The Java source code is about the code that we're writing into our editor. So the code that we write into our editor is called Java source code, and it's a pure Java code. The bytecode is about zeros and ones. And lastly, the machine language code is about the instructions and commands that the CPU understands. The Java compiler understands Java source code, and the JVM understands Java bytecode, and the CPU understands a machine language code. When we're writing Java code inside our editor, when compiling and running this code, first the Java compiler converts this source code into a bytecode. Then the JVM takes this bytecode and converts it into a machine language code. This machine language code is what the CPU understands and is about instructions and commands that the CPU understands. What is the difference between the JDK, the JRE, and the JVM and the JIT? The JIT just-in-time compiler is part of the JVM Java Virtual Machine, whereas the JVM is part of the JRE Java Runtime Environment, and the JRE is part of the JDK. So the JVM is about an interpreter and a JIT. The JRE is about a JVM and a library classes. The JDK is about a JRE and a development tools. The development tools is about the debuggers and compilers and Java documentation. The compiler that is part of the development tools inside the JDK is responsible for converting the source code into bytecode. What is the difference between the JDK and the JRE? The JDK represents the Java development kit, while the JRE represents the Java runtime environment. The JDK contains JRE compilers, Java documentation, debugger, and other tools. The JRE contains the JVM, Java class libraries, and other components to run Java application. Both the JDK and the JRE are platform dependent. The JDK is used to develop, compile, and execute Java applications, while the JRE is only used to run Java programs or Java applications. So the JRE only used to develop Java applications, while the JDK is used to develop, compile, and run Java applications. The second thing we need is to differentiate between the JVM and the JIT. The JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine, while the JIT stands for Just-in-Time Compiler. The JVM was introduced for managing system memory and providing a transportable execution environment for Java-based applications, while the JVM was invented to improve the performance of the JVM. The JVM consists of many other components like stack area, heap area, and also the JIT. The JIT is one of the components of the JVM, so the JIT is part of the JVM. The JVM compiles complete bytecode into a machine code, while the JIT compiles only a reusable bytecode to a machine code. So the JIT improves the performance of the JVM. That's it for today's video. I hope you understand what the Java programming language is and how it's working. In the next video, we're going to set up the development environment in order to develop Java programs. See you in the next video.